You're listening to Standing in Fire. Welcome everybody to Standing in Fire. My name is Boom. And I'm joined by Tess and Militus, and I've got to say, this is officially, not only are we back, we were off last week and we're back this week, but this is the show before Game of Thrones comes back on. So this show and then Game of Thrones, it's kind of like you guys had to wait a week for us to come back.
What is that anyway? That's some show that's on.
Oh my gosh.
I will fight you. It's so good. Okay,
so
ready? I really
want
to hear what everybody's
Never
house
watched
is.
Single episode.
Favorite. Really?
Never once.
Militus is not watching.
I just lost all credibility.
You know what's weird about that
is
the
meme that my husband posted because that's so perfect.
It's kind of weird that you
Never
have done that, Militus, because it's right up your alley. If there was ever a show that had Militus written all over it, it's Game of Thrones, and you haven't done it. It's also very, very close to tax day, so you guys might not know this, but as we're recording, I'm actually going to be doing my taxes at the same time. So I'm going to have my taxes up in this window, and I'll be talking Pantheon in this window because I'm under the pressure cooker here to get the taxes finished. So how's that sound?
Oh, I haven't done mine.
You guys are like, whatever. Nobody cares.
I wait to the very last day since I always have to write a check. So I'll wait.
Now I've got my fingers crossed because I haven't had to for a while, but we'll see.
Well, you know what that sound means, right? Boom has some nonsense for everybody. And why, when we were on hiatus and I come back, why would it be any different that I wouldn't have something silly? I did want to just say, though, check this out. This right here that looks like a bottle of pee.
That urine?
Yeah, it looks kind of like that. Okay, this jar right here. This is Boom's homemade mead.
Oh,
this is mead.
Really good.
This is homemade
when is
mead.
It ready?
This bottle is ready. I'm going to be drinking this live on the show. I made this many months ago.
Hold on,
this one is ready now.
My 911 ready to call.
Yeah. Just get it out. Now, here's the cool thing. I made a batch that is currently percolating, and I'm going to be bottling it up. And there it goes. Okay. I guess the Dell is still at it.
No. I'm giving you body language like you're going to bring me something when you come to this.
So here's the deal. Anybody that along the road trip, if I meet anybody, so if there's other people that want to meet up, and I'm for sure bringing Militus a bunch of homemade mead. But when I come through your town, if you're there and you meet up with me, I'll have some mead for you as well. So I might even get it labeled. I don't know. It's going to be fun, but I did get it. I might have to make 2 batches. I don't know.
What would you call this batch?
I don't know what I'd call this one. This one is really just plain Jane mead.
MMO mead.
This is
MMO mead.
Yeah. This one's just mead. So you guys were talking about a wide mouth. So there you go. Like that's as big as it gets. So, I'm gonna pour it right into here.
He does bring up a pretty valid point, Boom. I think you need to listen to. He says, not sure if I would drink beer in a mason jar from a guy traveling around in an RV that looks like Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. You better. This stuff is good.
My man.
I bet, and I'm not sure. I'd have to check, but we haven't done the alcohol content.
Right, now listen, Nathan
is strong.
A question.
It's probably 20%. So it's this is the real deal, man. This is the real deal. It's way stronger than wine.
I'm not baloneying any of this. Boom has made so much beer with our buddy Nick, and it is delicious. It's so good. They made like a peanut. Didn't you make like a peanut beer?
We've made all kinds of things.
It was so good. You
But this mead is one for the record books. So while I'm drinking mead, and I have you guys on here, one of the things that came up in another show I was watching Minus. He was doing a live with Def, and they were doing their little thing where they sit on the couch and talk to each other. And Def mentioned in there that he had named his character Damn It to Hell. And he had gone all the way through the game, nobody banned him, and then all of a sudden he got banned for it later on in the game. And I wanted to protect some people from that, so I was gonna go ahead and let Visionary Realms, because I know that they listen to the show. I was just gonna go ahead and let them know some names they should just go ahead and ban now. These are some blacklist names. These are things they need to get. They just need to get these things. They need to get these things blacklisted. So here we go. The first name that I think automatically, before anybody gets too carried away, is Dildo Swaggins. You just gotta ban that one.
So that's what this list is gonna be like. It's gonna be full of Dildo Swaggins. I gotcha. I know where we're at now.
Yeah, Dildo Swaggins. Another one, this one just annoyed me, so I think they should ban this one purely because it's annoying. Hanging with my nomies. I just want that one banned.
Oh, I love that one though. I love it.
Because it just annoys me.
Nomies have Pantheon. That name doesn't work for nomies.
Well, it shouldn't be hanging. It should be rolling. Rolling with my nomies. Yeah, that's what it should be.
So I don't want any Dildo Swaggins or hanging with my nomies. I do not want the name Hugo Balls in the game at all. Hugo Balls. Boy, I'm having zero impact here. I'm struggling.
We're agreeing. They're horrible names.
All right. How about this one? This is a potential necromancer sort of class name that they need to ban.
That's feelings. Here we go, because he plays a necro.
Yeah, do not name it Macaulay Culkin. Don't do it.
No,
okay,
that's what Death has to name it now. He's got to be Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin. Oh
Macaulay
my God.
Culkin. Don't name it. Don't go to The Simpsons and name one of your characters Bendover. That should just immediately be banned. No Bendovers.
Oh no, I love that. Please, somebody call a human Ben Dover. Love
no
it.
Bendover
Love it.
and no Oliver Closeoff. Because those are two, right? You can't have Oliver Closeoff and Bendover. And I don't want to see a character named Harry Poppins anywhere. Okay? I just don't want
say that again?
I don't want a character named Harry Poppins. No Harry Poppins.
That was... You just destroyed my childhood dreams.
What about Muffin Poppin'?
That's a whole different thing. That's kind of like this one. If you decide to name your character Danger Noodle, I don't want to see it. You got to get it out.
You're right, Tess. Everything's penis.
Everything is penis. But here, Boomy, did you see somebody wants to know?
One or two of these.
Des wants to know if Archie Bunker is there.
Yeah, Archie Bunker. Yeah, there you go. That's got to be one. This one. Do not name your character Dang Luang.
I just
Dang Li Wang.
NBA player Luau Dang.
So Dang Li Wang. Don't do it, okay? Dang Li Wang. Don't do it. Okay. This one is got to be banned automatically, right? Do not name something Adolf Krittler.
No.
See, you got to ban that. You have to ban it. Do not let it happen.
Yeah.
I also don't want.
Bad.
Yeah, I also don't want to see a character named Princess Beef Curtains.
Oh my God!
What the hell?
Oh, that's horrible.
Did you see Boom? Did you see Boom? By the way, Milla, he dropped that and he went.
Yeah, you can't do it. I don't want to. Militus would probably go for this one right away, and this is why this has to be banned. We do not want one.
Please back up. Please back up. Back up.
No, let's not back up. Let's not back up into
one more time.
No.
So everyone can hear it.
All right. Here's another one. I'm going to give you another one. Captain Slongotron. I don't want anybody named Captain Slongotron in the game. All right. It's got a little bit more of a robot name kind of going on. I don't want one called Sarge Lossage. Sarge Lossage. I don't want that either in there.
These are just getting worser, and as my husband would say, worser and worser.
Worser and worser. I don't even want to see a character named Bathfart.
You just.
I know, I saw that too.
Right.
What about Lex's character? Would you be okay with an ogre named
Hugh
Jess?
Yeah, there you go. See, we're going right to the nope, we can't do that one. We can't do pretty much any of these, no Sofa King. Nope, we're not doing that one. We don't do anything with farted and 69 in the same thing. We don't do that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question.
All right, go ahead.
My question is this. Do we allow, for old time's sake, Torin Bulge?
Yes, Torin Bulge is totally fine, and Logged On is fine too.
Yeah, Militus
and Logged On
will be in the game. Yeah, I don't know if Pantheon will allow two names.
Yeah.
Is anyone in the chat could confirm that? I think it's just one name, right?
Yeah, do you have a first and a last?
I don't know that we know that. I'm assuming we are.
Hey, those were just some suggestions. So I was just trying to get them ahead of the game because these are all things people are going to name their characters, and I'll come up with some more. I'll make sure that Visionary Realms doesn't have to worry about this. We'll get everything censored, all right? Because we want this game to be friendly for the whole family, and that's kind of what's important. Tess, before we get into the good stuff, tell everybody how they can contact us.
Wait, I thought my intro was part of the good stuff. Okay. Are you trying to give away my job and make it like it doesn't matter? No, I don't. Hey, if it's any consolation, my stuff is part of the bad stuff too. All right. It's all bad stuff. Who am I kidding? All right. So in order to contact us, you can visit our website at there are chickens at stop, or is that a turkey? I don't know. At stopstandinginfire.com. Stop. I hate you so much. At stopstandinginfire.com. You can email us at stopstandinginfire@gmail.com. You can, I hate you so much, Mila. You can tweet us as a show at SIF Podcast. Boomy is at BoomTap Live. Militus is at oldassholeman.com. And no, Militus is at Old Militus. Yes, and Tess, am at Debuff This. You can also find all of our information as well as all of the stuff for a lot of the community at Pantheon.plus. Or you can call or text us at. Please call and text us at 702-625-1337.
That spells leads. Hell yeah.
All right, there we go. Thanks to Coltrane there for getting us on into everything. We have a really great, actual serious show for you tonight. Like, we're not farting around. Right? No. We're not farting around anymore. We decided, hey, you know what? Enough with just trying to be silly. This show is going to take a turn. We're going to become your serious source for news. Like, we're going to start maybe even wearing a tie. I don't know what's going to happen, but we might do it. And tonight we're going to talk about... This from the man whose favorite thing to wear on the air is his wig. His hair metal wig. It is fun. Yeah. By the way, if we get through the disposition system without me hitting the floor, will be amazing. This is strong and it is good. So I am sucking it down. I'm going to talk like this at the end. All right, here we go. Disposition system, everybody. Disposition system. Yeah, disposition system. I wanted to get into that. So this is actually, I think, one of the coolest things that we got in the last letter. And I know everybody's kind of been talking about it. And I wanted to speculate a little bit, talk about what they've shared with us, but then also maybe elaborate on it a little bit. So we're gonna kind of talk about the disposition system. So in the last letter to everybody. Sorry, we got an echo there. We still have an echo there. Militus is playing with his board, I think. I saw him doing something. I saw it there. Look at him. I saw it there.
Just do it!
So I wanted to read this little thing. It says, fast forward a year or so, and I find myself playing Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor. Have you guys ever played that game?
Oh. No. Militus, I will come through the screen.
I have not played Shadows of Mordor.
I haven't, but I have heard really good things.
So, one of the things that resonated with me, by the way, I'm reading what they wrote. One of the things that resonated with me was a trait system for the Uruk captains and war chiefs. It was a unique challenge every time I encountered one because I couldn't anticipate what their unique strengths, weaknesses, and behaviors would be. It was possible I could find myself lacking the resources or positioning to deal with a particular trait and get in trouble fast. In other cases, I might find I was able to take full advantage of a particular weakness and charge headlong in to meet them. At some point, the two worlds collided. What an amazing way to breathe excitement, challenge, unpredictability into the NPC landscape of MMORPGs. These were ingredients that gave rise to the disposition system. So a lot of games are starting to use this. Assassin's Creed has this. And Assassin's Creed stole a bunch of stuff, by the way, from Middle Earth, which if you haven't played it, it's an amazing, amazing game. Have you guys had another experience in another game of something like this with a disposition system?
Nothing quite like this, at least nothing that's like named. As we go through, and we don't know what a lot of the disposition system, they've released a lot of the what is the word?
Kind of ideas. Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? Prefixes. There we go. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
So they've released a lot of these prefixes, but we don't really know what they do. And as I was reading through, I was going, we've seen some of what I think this might turn into in other games, but there haven't been like prefixes, and there haven't been like situations where you come up on this mob and it'll be different the next time you come up on it. But
right.
I think that's really interesting. Yeah.
I mean, we've seen other games use prefixes to identify maybe what kind of combat that mob may demonstrate, right? So it might be a caster, you can tell by its prefix, or it might be a healer, you can tell by its prefix, or it might be a melee, you can tell by its prefix. But
a lot of times the way that you figure out
rudimentary compared to the system that Pantheon's proposing, that Visionary Realms is proposing for disposition. Mm-hmm. It seems like a baby version of, they're taking it to the next level of the disposition.
Yeah.
Well, and I also think that like we this kind of system where you have to stop and look is in a lot of MMOs. For example, if you roll up on something that you've never seen before and it has mana bar, it's probably going to be a caster, either a DPS or a healer. However, what I think is super fun about this is that every single time you roll up on a group of mobs, they could be completely different. That's interesting.
Well, just in case somebody's listening and they didn't play the game, or the one that kind of inspired this, there's these little bosses that are kind of there, but they didn't do bosses in like the traditional way. It's these characters that are more apt to kind of like they're hunting you. So you know how mobs just kind of stand around camps, right? And in between you feel like, oh, I'm totally safe. I can just go in, or I can maybe circle around a mob, or I can do different things. Well, they added this other little layer. Yeah, they added this other layer to the game, which is kind of like a threat system that eventually builds up these characters that are actually hunting you. So you all of a sudden are the prey. You're not the one that's just kind of like la-di-da, right? And those guys that you go up against, so when they attack you, they all have kind of some different abilities and traits. And so you can't just like do the same attack to them. You're going to die. You actually do have to kind of see how they're playing and sort of adapt to it. Now, that's a little more real time. It's a little faster pace. But I really do get where they're kind of going with this. And so I think that's pretty cool that they got this, and that also says you can actually play an Xbox game and be inspired for an MMO. I know a lot of people tease me about that, but it's possible. All right. So they go on to say the disposition system will give NPCs a chance to spawn with one of many possible dispositions, granting them unique strengths, weaknesses, and behavioral qualities. These dispositions will typically be portrayed by an adjective at the beginning of the NPC's name, though there will be dispositions only identifiable through the perception system and are rare vision altering artifacts. So this is kind of cool. So they're talking about the NPCs randomly spawning, which Tess was already kind of alluding to. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think that they're just going to have them spawn at random? Do you think there's going to be some sort of algorithm that kind of keeps them balanced? What do you think they're going to? Because when I first read this, I was like, are we going to get a mob of 5 healers that are all talking? They're having like a healer conference. We're going to just like storm in on them. And you're
that could happen.
Yeah. I'm like, it's kind of cool.
I bet that this won't happen. I would doubt. It would take a lot of coding to make this be a thing that of just a random mob that you run into in the world. I bet that this is kind of either kind of in a dungeon or like trash mobs, or in like high level zones where, you know, I doubt that you would see this in like the very first mob you run into on your newbie island, you know, zone.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? If there's all these dispositions and it's random, you could get some crazy combinations.
A absolutely nightmarish combination where they're all like alarmists and they all just
scatter.
You're like, oh,
you can't
they
even
just
lock them all
run,
down,
and then they
right?
pull the entire effing
the whole zone's chasing after you because these alarmists just scattered the minute they detected you, right? They just like went flying around and all of a sudden you're like, Militus is sitting there going, I'll lock the one on the right down and I'll do this and I'll do this, and all of a sudden one is detected and all of a sudden they just scatter and everybody's like, oh crap. Yeah, and then it's like, what do you do? You know what I mean? Are we going to be able to stealth and hide at that point? Like, what do we do to get away from it?
I think Gatorbait is right. In chat, he's like, I'm sure there's going to be limitations, and I bet they will too. I mean, they have to code an algorithm for this. So, I mean, I'm sure that they're going to put something in that says that a mob spawn can't have more than X number of this type of prefix.
There could be. I mean, I don't know the math. Maybe somebody who's smarter than me can take all of these ones that they gave us and figure out all the different possible combinations. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Tess.
I'm sorry.
That's it. I quit. I'm walking off this show. I'm done.
I'm sorry.
That's it. I'm out of here.
I think the first scenario you mentioned is actually one of the scarier ones, Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you made fun of it, but actually I think that's quite scary.
Oh, repeat it. Which one in particular?
When you walk around the corner and there's 5 mobs of healers.
Yeah.
Like, good luck with that. Like, you're going to be fighting that mob for
an hour.
45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're going to be, and then you're going to have to have such a coordinated group just to burn one down.
Yeah.
Like, think about that.
But I love the idea. I love the idea, though, of like a bunch of healers getting together, going, "Hey, so what are you using these days?" Well, I'm using the green powder of the the arachnid. Oh, okay, well that's cool.
You're assuming they're all the same class.
Yeah, they might not be, but they're just kind of because really, if you think about it, healers would hang out with other healers. Healers are not going to hang around tanks, right?
Well, I mean, hang on.
It's like the drummer in the band. Tanks are the drummer in the band. Nobody hangs around that guy.
We don't see any. Tanks are not the drummer of the band. We're the lead singer. Kiss my butt. But all right, we're
gonna have to talk to Chad about that. Who? Okay, are tanks the front man or are tanks the drummer? Right? And who's the bass player?
Front man. Of course, they're the front man.
Who's the bass player?
You cannot go without the tank.
No,
who's on lead? Who's on lead guitar?
So it's
the guitar is the healer.
The healer's on lead guitar.
Ripping.
The DPS or whatever else you need the band. Basically. Actually, no, we're forgetting the CC class.
CC is the bassist and DPS are the drummer.
CC is the guy like slightly off stage that plays keyboards. That they don't really let him on stage. They kind of just put him off to the side there, and that's like the anybody with control. He's like the guy over there.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Did you just say that the CC'er is the keyboardist?
Yeah.
That's so mean.
Every once in a while he straps on a keytar and tries to come out, and then the roadies even are like, no, dude, you can't be out here, and they pull him back. And they take him back on stage and they let him be out there.
Oh my god! Oh wow!
No, I think the
oh wow!
I think the DPS are actually below that. I think they're like cowbell.
All right. Well, who's the group?
Well, I think the DPS. No, a DPS is the chick in the audience that's just flashing.
Yeah, that's totally it. They're just like. That's your ranged DPS. They're just like, that's so great. I just picture
Hey guys,
that.
welcome back to Standing in Fire after our wing engagement.
I love that so much. I just can envision that. Oh my god. Oh, there's a rogue running around picking up mics, and there's oh my god. Okay, you guys are getting me off topic.
I'm sorry.
I do want to add one thing seriously to answer your question, Boom.
Mm-hmm.
I know I brought this up before,
but
I'm going to bring it up again because I hope Visionary Realms listens to our little shindig here. I think that this system is absolutely what makes Pantheon the next evolution in the MMOs. Because I don't think any game to this point has done this this robustly, like what they're talking about. And beyond that, I think it's also worthy of our consideration to think about how this changes the way we think of dungeons. Because for a lot of us, and this is going to tie in later to what we talk about in the Militus forum redneck segment or whatever, that I think a lot of people just forgotten what it's like to run dungeons methodically and strategically. And the disposition system, if it is in fact randomly generated, it will, without question, force groups to slow down. Like, you're going to know this dungeon.
You won't even know what's going on. You'll have no idea.
Turn the corner, and all of a sudden, the pack that last week that you saw that was healer, DPS, sniper.
Now,
you know what I mean? Now it's going to be totally different, and you're going to have to stop and talk to each other. Hence a social game. Say, hey, okay, this is different. How do we create a strategy to now do this? And maybe that means you change up your ability set and say, oh, hold on, I got to put an extra CC on my bar.
Yeah.
That. And that is the kind of gameplay I have longed for a long time.
Right.
And that I've always thought about with Pantheon. And I think this system, the disposition system, without question, kind of elevates it above any other game on the market by fostering that kind of strategic gameplay. So
now, I just want to point out, though, that it's not just a healer DPS type of situation.
Right. Sorry, I was using old prefix. I could use all the new ones like we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
Well, I think that makes it even worse. So, for example, we know if we're going to come around, gosh, I can't. Echo and it's freaking with me. We know that if we come around this question, that there is going to be a 2 healers, a DPS guy, and a guy with a shield.
We'll say a sniper's in the group.
Well,
and an alarmist.
Just hang on. We don't know that DPS is going to have the sniper tag. Maybe it did the first time.
Right.
But we know that there's going to be a DPSer, a healer, a CC'er, and a shield guy. Whatever the classes are of the mobs. We know that those classes are going to be there when we come around this corner, but we don't know when we come around the corner, maybe the healer maybe will get lucky, and the healer will be deranged and just start running in circles, maybe. Or the healer also
might just start flashing you.
The sniper.
Yeah, think about that. What's that going to happen?
Off and
what if the deranged just like goes topless all of a sudden, and we're like, whoa, what's going on here? And then we miss our cue, and it's just like,
hopefully it's an Archie.
Yeah. Yeah. Archies are notorious for going topless. That's
you're right,
sure.
Tessa. You kind of combine the class, the variability of the like ability set of a mob.
Yeah.
With its disposition.
That's what I mean.
You have lots of possibilities.
If your shield guy, for example, that's just a hack and slash type of mob guy is predatory, that's not going to screw with you too much. You're kind of expecting that you're going to have to DPS that one down. But what if your healer is alarmist and starts running off? And
run off.
Well, or I'm sorry, what was it? Sniper, and just runs away and gets out of range and just is healing from afar. Like, it can really F with everything that you're trying to do.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, I love that.
And Day, I don't mean paladin. I just meant like Buffy melee DPS guy.
Buffy McBufferson.
Buffy McBufferson.
Hey, Gatorbait, I want to
ban that name. Ban it.
Gatorbait's like, hey, and I get it. He's kind of bringing up an argument against what I was saying earlier. He's like, hey, it's really going to slow down the dungeon progression. And he said that's not a bad thing, but I hope VR takes that into consideration when they think about, that 2 to 3 hours of play. I get that, man. Hey, married dude, full-time job.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
you have like 3 jobs. Yeah. You're always busy. Yeah. Right.
I'm always working on something. So I get it. And I want them to consider that too. Like, I think there's a balance point, but I'm also completely okay, by the way, with like getting to a certain point with you guys in a dungeon and being like, hey, I got to tap out. I got to go. You guys continue on. Great. Kill more mobs. I'm cool with that as long as that challenge is still there for you. Like, I don't mind individually giving up some of my ability to like just stomp the shit out of a dungeon. I would rather give up that ability and have more meaningful gameplay for the entire community than I would satisfy the individual needs of Militus.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like,
yes,
it does.
So that's kind of the way I'm this really altruistic Gatorbait, but that's kind of the way I'm approaching it. And I'm not getting too pissed off if the play session gets really long.
Right.
Well, this is what I think, though, that in response, because dungeons in WoW, for example, in order to make them challenging after you've run them 3 times, it's mob craziness. You have to pull like 14 different ginormous packs of mobs to get to the first boss. So that what it might mean is that instead of 5 mob pulls between you and the first boss and all this trash, maybe you have 2 mob pulls between you and the boss. Kind of like in GW2.
Yeah.
The way that they did raids was the bosses were crazy hard. There was very little trash, and the trash that there was took a lot of time.
Lexer made a good point. He just said it's great because he can run a dungeon with guildies and not fall asleep.
Yeah.
And so it's replayability, right? Because you don't know what you're going to get. You're going to kind of hit that next group.
Point too, is that it's not about, we have to break this idea. And I know where he's coming from because Minus is a lot like me. Although he played EverQuest, I didn't. But I get the sense like talking to him, he's more influenced by like his WoW experience. I know he gets a lot of shit for that. You don't worry about it, Minus. That happens.
Yeah, I'm totally
but like I am too. And in the WoW mindset, right? It is you start from a linear point, and you bam, you complete it. You're done. You port, you collect your loot. And that's not the way we really got to change our mindset for us that play WoW a lot of time, which is me. I played a lot of WoW, and I got to change my mindset and I have been doing that with EverQuest. We're running with Nathan's guild, is that we will do exactly what he just talked about. We will camp spots. And here's the cool part about that. So you camp a spot in a dungeon and you're pulling and killing and looting and pulling and killing and looting. The cool part about that, like even in EverQuest 2, I've had a lot of fun doing that. But to Minus's point, like and Lexer's point, when those mobs respawn, I know what they're going to be.
Yeah.
So the camping is fun,
right?
But like Pantheon could make it a lot more fun if those respawns now come back and all of a sudden we have we have different.
There's alarmists. We've been camping here, and they respawn with alarmists, and they're going to pull the entire damn dungeon.
Let's cover some of these. So we've been talking about some of these. Let's talk about some of the actual adjectives here
and
that,
we don't know. We're
haven't been decided. No, these are things they wrote. So this is what they
but
wrote
we're
in their
guessing
email.
about what they actually do.
I'm going to guess kind of what they mean. I'm taking their stuff very literally. So we're going to start with the first one. So there's a whole bunch of these. The first one is cunning. And so the definition of cunning is having or showing skill in achieving one's ends by deceit or evasion. So if you think of a mob having cunning, there's quite a bit for them to kind of do. So this could be very interesting in the sense of maybe they go invisible. Wait, so maybe like why you try to crowd control them, they just disappear.
Mila is gone. Let's make fun of him.
Oh, yeah. Militus.
Oh,
okay.
Hi, Militus. We weren't making fun of you.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I think cunning is going to be.
Let's just pretend Militus rolls up on a mob and he's like, okay, this one I have to CC this guy on the right because he's going to do something bad to us. So I got to CC him. And we don't notice this one is cunning over here. And we go ahead and make the pull. And all of a sudden one of those mobs just disappears. Right? Now we don't even know where that mob is. Right? And we're like, okay, we know where some stuff's going on, but this cunning mob could be do a lot of different things. Now, I'm going to propose later as we kind of talk about this that what really could make this awesome. Yeah. And I'm hoping Pantheon thinks about this.
Shows up.
What if a cunning guy disappears, and then when he disappears, he becomes a sniper? So all of a sudden,
they'll marry him. I don't think they'll marry them. That'd be.
You see what I'm saying? So, but I'm just saying, some of these things could lead to each other, and I'm going to even get even deeper with what some of this can be done. For me, that meant maybe like go invisible, or maybe they puff a smoke up and make everything crazy for us, so we can't really see what's going on. That's kind of what it meant for me. What do you guys think cunning is going to mean?
Just what you said.
Yeah.
There are a couple of these though that I really do want to hit on.
Let's go deranged. You've talked about deranged a few times. What do you think deranged? This is one. What's that going to be? Deranged it's mad or insane. This could be like a lot of things. What's a deranged disposition going to be?
That means no mind controlling CC, I think, will be available for it.
But what I think it could be more interesting is what Boomy was just talking about. Like maybe the deranged is wild card. You don't know what the deranged is. Deranged could be predatory at one moment or sniper at another moment, and then turn alarmist. That would be creepy.
Here's another one too. I was just thinking about. You could have a complete aggro drop. So you're fighting them, and all of a sudden, bam, they lose aggro. They get deranged. They start killing the next person. They start running around, just hacking, slashing shit.
They could start hacking themselves, right? They could run. What if a mob runs into town and starts murdering all the people in the town just for no good reason, right? Deranged, loses its mind. I don't know
what's going to happen. Def is going to get some popcorn and sit there and watch.
Yeah, I would too. I'd be like, let's see what this deranged guy is going to do. It's kind of awesome. The next one is predatory. So definition of predatory is seeking to exploit or oppress others. Seeking to exploit or oppress others.
Debuffers. They're going to debuff. I'm 90% certain that's what.
So I'm with you on the debuff, but I have another thing. It said exploit other players, right? So how would you exploit another player? What if you mind controlled one of the players.
Oh, so like they
bad.
have like traps and stuff.
Like they turn me as a healer against you guys, and I start like not healing you
or healing them.
That is crazy because you only ever see that mechanic in like boss fights. You never see that in like mob fights. That's interesting.
When I first thought of predatory, I went back to their original comment, and I know this is probably not what they mean by this, but what if that mob hunts you? What if there's some mobs in an MMO that are actually hunting you down instead of me approaching them and saying, "Okay, guys, how are we gonna?" What if all of a sudden you're just hunted? Like that sounds kind of fun. Predatory, right? There's just these little predators running around.
Oh, let's set it up. So let's say you're in a dungeon, you wipe, okay, which is going to happen to us all a lot in Pantheon. Just get used to it. So you respawn at a point, and I'm assuming, I know this is a point of contention.
This is avenging. I think avenging is this one.
Well, I'm just saying predatory. I get what you're saying, but if say predatory, it could be where. What if they hunt you, like run out of the dungeon to find you? Like when you're talking about Boom. If they're trying
to... You never can drop aggro. Yeah, like
ever. They keep coming, no matter what. They just keep coming after your ass. That would be amazing.
It's like they know you're there, and then all of a sudden it's like you have to deal with that one mob before you can even move on. It's like, everybody's going to have to kind of group up and figure it out. I don't know. That's pretty cool. This one's kind of an interesting one that they mentioned. Pyrophobic. Fear of fire beyond what is normal, because we all fear fire. Nobody wants to be lit on fire, but a pyrophobic is beyond what's normal. So, what are you thinking this one's going to be?
I think that if you use a fire spell, they'll turn alarmist and just run and go and run away.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was.
I have a theory.
Okay,
give it to us.
All right, so it's been spoken. Brad has spoken about this many times. I should say, Joppa has spoken about this many times. He has talked about how dungeons will be freaking dark. Okay, and if you look at the ability sets of classes, for example, I was recently looking back over my spreadsheet comparing healers, and they typically have, like, druids have this ability, a firefly or something, ability, I have to pull it up, where they can illuminate a dark area, okay? So imagine you have a torch and you illuminate a dark area and you run into a pyrophobic mob. Maybe their aggro range is freaking insane. So you walk into an opening, right, with your torch, and everything aggroes you because it's dark and they're pyrophobic. They're very sensitive to flame. And then when you turn the corner and you illuminate the room with flame, they immediately aggro you in a range and a radius that you've never experienced in the open world.
Sure.
Like, that could be some very intriguing gameplay if they were to do something like that.
Sure. And I think that could be something. And I think, they also, I mean, this was just a thought I had. What if a pyrophobic can sense that a member of the party has opted into many flame spells or things that deal with fire?
Oh, that would be
pretty. And then drops aggro.
And then because he knows it, he drops aggro, and all of a sudden he's like an alarmist because he's like, oh crap, fire! I'm out of here.
That one person that has a lot of like flame stuff. We also have in chat that they've adapted, and they can negate a lot of flame stuff. Like they put your torch out.
Yeah, right. They can actually they just throw water on you.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. I love that idea. That's so cool.
All right. So I just had this moment of insight. It's totally different than what we've been talking about, but it's somewhat related. Just give me 1 second to make a point here.
Yeah, go for it.
So, all right. So everyone's always, I know Minus them just made a video about this, and Nathan's made videos, and Dev has made videos, Punk, all these guys have made videos about this. People are clamoring for alpha, right? Always asking for alpha. And they're like, when's it done? When's it done? When's it done? Here's what everyone needs to think about right now. And this, in the context of this conversation we're having, which is a really good one. All these really cool innovations, predatory, pyrophobic, alarmist, all that. That takes time.
Yeah.
Like to build a game like that, that's that robust and fun and immersive and dynamic, it takes a lot of time. So like when they tell me, you know, that we're not quite to pre-alpha 5 or whatever, but I hear about systems like this.
Yeah.
In the back of my mind, I just get giddy and I go, you know what, Visionary Realms, take all the time you need to build these kind of gameplay possibilities. For I am freaking excited when I hear stuff like this.
Yeah, because this could make the game
frustrating.
Yeah.
Right. Because you think of all the other MMOs we've played, guys. Yeah. All of us in this chat, everyone listening to this has played the shit out of MMOs for the last, some of us 15, 20.
For a long time.
You've seen mobs with the healer tags but you've not seen this. So like, be patient. #Tess Pantheon patient. Be patient, because systems like this take time, but man, the possibility of like gameplay for the future with all these dispositions we're talking about creates like, lots of repeatable gameplay experiences.
Yeah, for sure.
It's awesome. So keep that in the back of your mind. When you get frustrated, we're not to pre-alpha 5, we're not to alpha. Think about these dispositions and then tell yourself, hey, what's coming is going to be really freaking awesome. So I can wait for all these great things to be fleshed out.
Yeah.
There's one other, there's so many of these that we can go through. Alarmist. I think we all think they're going to just run and pull other mobs.
I think
Sniper, bloodthirsty.
What I will say about Alarmist, Tess, right? I want to make this point. There is a hierarchy to these dispositions in kill order for pulls. And in my mind, you just
Alarmist is number one.
Number one. Like
number one.
Is number one, because we don't want to be fighting
twice
the mobs.
You can't lose. You cannot lose a pull. You can't lose it.
But just think about this one thing though. So Alarmist, we think, okay, it sounds like it could be a simple thing, but what if when the Alarmist gets alarmed, it causes the other NPCs to react differently than they normally would? Because have you ever been around a person that's panicking? It's freaking hard to be who you are normally, right? So what if an Alarmist causes others to kind of flip to alarm, or causes others to, just change disposition mid-fight?
Boom. It doesn't even have to be that complicated.
Yeah.
What if the next mob pack he runs into also has an Alarmist? Now you got two of those bastards running free in the dungeon.
Running around, yeah.
What
if an Alarmist though can run off and grab a boss
out of nowhere? Here comes the boss, and you're like,
because the Alarmist brings this big dude in.
Just like, we're doing it.
You know what? The tank is going
head boom, right now.
Tap, tap, tap. That's what the tank's doing. Okay, all right.
But the one
that's where my name comes from, by the way. Boom tap. There you go. Did you hear that? Boom tap. Boom tap.
Yeah,
did you hear that? There you go.
Yeah,
okay, there you go. All right, good.
We heard it.
All right.
The one that I really wanted to hit on, though, can I skip ahead a little bit?
No. Did you mention the sniper? Because that's a pretty interesting one.
Got to mention the sniper. You got to go through these.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we'll go through them all.
Yeah, you'll get your chance. Fine. You're going to get your day in the sun. Sniper, a person that shoots from hiding place, especially accurate long range. I don't think I've seen this in an MMO.
No, ESO. Have you ever played ESO? All of the archers, all of the range, they immediately run off, and they're assholes. And
I know, but what I'm talking about is something different. What if you run up on a pack, like a mob or a camp, and there's guys hiding in the bushes that you didn't even know? And so you plan your attack out, and as soon as you draw aggro, those guys are behind you shooting you.
And they're already stealthed, and they only aggro.
They pop out all of a sudden, and all of a sudden you're sitting there going, "Oh crap, we got a sniper behind us!" And then you flip out, and then you have to turn around, like you're not even now you're an Alarmist.
Beyond that, beyond turning around, here's something to think about. It says person who shoots from a hiding place. Now you said a bush. Okay, so a bush is something you could you could attack them through. But you're not thinking about, I don't know, line of sight. So now this person's behind a line of sight and they step out and shoot you and step back behind. While at the same time, you got 3 mob packs in your face. And this dude stepping out from LOS shooting you. Like that would be a nightmare to deal with.
I couldn't even imagine.
You couldn't target them. Yeah, because it would be really, really tough to deal with that. That would be a lot of fun.
And it would create a stress on the healer. Because now the healer is maybe healing a DPS instead of a tank. And, because maybe that sniper's trying to pick off the weak link there.
If you're a rogue, think about this, right? If you're a rogue, this is beautiful. If I'm a rogue, I'm not a rogue main, but I would covet this because here's what I would do. If I saw a sniper, I'm stealthing past the mob pack. I'm telling everyone behind me, hey, you guys, when I get up here, light into the mobs, I'm going to freaking one shot. I'm going to lock this
I'm going to go back to this sniper down. Yeah.
I'm going to lock his ass down and they're not going to be able to do shit to you. And I'll lock him down. That'll be my job. I'll come back DPS, lock him down. Like, how much fun would that be?
It would be so fun to watch him go around and actually just come up behind the guy and assassinate him. And then now all of a sudden you're free. It'd be like, oh man, we're so glad we have that guy on our team, right? It would make it so awesome.
That's why you want to have that diversity of your group.
Well, what's fun is you're giving the DPS class something to do besides chase a meter. Because now all of a sudden the DPS is like, oh, I have to actually play smart. I don't just get to sit there and fire off spells in a rotation. In fact, I'm not even worried about my rotation. What I'm worried about is all of a sudden I've got sniper fire coming from way over here, and I got to go deal with that.
Listen, I just got to say this. I know people hate when I draw WoW comparisons, but man.
But that's what we know.
I know, but I'm just telling you, my best pull, and Tess already knows where I'm going with this. I know she does. As a priest in WoW, I can unequivocally say the best pull, not boss, not mob, not whatever, ever in the game of World of Warcraft for me was the morose pull in Karazhan. Because as a priest, I had to lock down mobs and heal, lock down, heal. And I had such a responsibility. If my people got unshackled, and it would randomly break. I'm not sure if you remember it, but they were randomly break. Not on a timer, they just randomly would break. Man, it was so thrilling to have a job other than just heal in that pull.
Right.
And what these dispositions mean to me is I'm going to get that all the time. Like in Pantheon, it's going to be like lots of morose pulls throughout the dungeon. And to me, that's so exciting. I can't wait to do something.
Okay. So, you brought up the best raid, in my opinion, ever made. We've had this conversation.
They were doing that in Kara. Yeah.
Yeah. But here's it. Yeah. Everybody who knows the morose pull was not a tank pull. It was the Shadow Priest pull.
Yeah. Or healing priest if you didn't have it, Shadow Priest in your raid.
It was the Shadow Priest pull. And that's before I was tanking. That's when I was playing Hunter. And so my job was to kite and frost trap the other one. So one was being shackled by the priest, and then I was run that, honestly, to this day, and we've had this conversation so many times, we're beating a dead horse, but that was the most fun fight I have ever seen in an MMO, was that morose fight.
Beat the dead horse, because here's what I want. I want Joppa, and I want Brad, and I want the developers at Visionary Realms to hear us. And I know they do. I know they do. And I know they're a lot like us.
Yeah.
They were a lot like us. They want that kind of gameplay.
They for sure do.
They do. That's kind of what they're designing this game for. And I play other MMOs and they don't have that.
No, it's all hack and slash, or don't stand here in this ginormous, don't stand in the fire, which we always do.
That's okay. As long as I'm standing in the fire, but keeping my mob shackled, I'm good. As long as I heal myself through standing in the fire.
Exactly. Yeah. So I am 100% that's why I'm so excited about CC, because CC has been dead in MMOs for a long time.
Really, and again, I'm gonna use WoW as an example here for a second, but really, Wrath of the Lich King killed CC because you had Paladins had the consecrate.
Right. It started to stop.
Death Knights had that bubbling death and decay or whatever. Like it just
AOE,
killed.
AOE got so big. Yeah.
I know.
And they also,
but yeah,
Wrath
definitely
had a lot of problems. Yeah, they had a lot of problems with. Again, I was still maining a hunter.
I also kill CC, as Tess knows. Remember, we would pull a boss, and then I would go and pull something that was CC'd by accident. I also kill CC.
Yeah, you broke You didn't pull CC. You broke CC.
Yeah,
and committed the cardinal sin.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody CC something, and I would attack it. Yeah, right.
Well, he's like, hey, there's that EQ too, and I'm just now starting. Yeah. Well, I'm starting to experience.
I'm not hardcore on EQ.
Let's 26.
Let's roll into a couple of these others though. Let's Bloodthirsty, okay, sure. Eager to shed blood. So in my opinion, Bloodthirsty said probably maybe it has a longer threat range. So a bloodthirsty guy might see you approach quicker than you might normally think, and then all of a sudden you're aggroed.
Yeah, larger aggro range. I love that idea. You think you might be able to thread a needle? Nope, you're not if they're going to be bloodthirsty.
And that one's open for a lot of interpretation. I'd like to hear what other people have to say about it, but because bloodthirsty could mean a lot of things. But acrobatic.
Well, they could like berserk. They could pull them and they're like crazy strong or something like that.
Yeah, right.
And acrobatic. Here's another thing. They might be like badass DPS. Like if you don't burn them down fast, they will kill your tank.
Yeah.
They
so
badass.
They ramp up or something. Yes. But I think in terms of gameplay, I think the idea of a ginormous aggro range is very, very interesting because we haven't, at least I've never seen that in a mob. I've never seen differentiated aggro ranges.
Oh yeah, Day and Nathan brought up some cool points. Nathan's like, would Bloodthirsty and Dire Lord clash because Dire Lords use blood for their abilities? That's pretty cool.
I don't know. I never thought of the blood angle, the vampire angle.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then secondarily, so would they the developers have said like you will see tanks and healers fill like niche roles right in the game. So true, Nathan. Like I could see where you'd have different effectiveness as a tank, right? Whether you were a paladin, a warrior, or dire lord in that circumstance. And then Dayhawk brings up a pretty cool point. He's like, bloodthirsty. Does that mean they enrage near death?
That is one of the thoughts I had. Yeah.
So here's the thing. That's like a boss mechanic in most. Yeah. Yet this would be a disposition on a regular mob. Like that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, I love it. All of these are so funny, and I wish I can't wait to learn more. Hey guys, do you know when alpha is?
Yes, thanks.
I know what it is. I have an answer. I learned this from Pantheon Plus. I have a definitive answer for everyone in chat, everyone listening.
Sir.
Soonish.
There you go. Or when it's ready. Yeah, very good.
And Brad even defined it for minus in a tweet. So there we go. Soonish.
Okay, there we go. Acrobatic, performing, involving, or adept at spectacular gymnastics feats. So we're talking about an Olympic gymnast.
And Guild Wars 2.
Kind of.
Not with mobs, but with a class. Sorry.
Yeah, but you see it in mobs in ESO where you're fighting something and it's like a roguey thing, and all of a sudden it like whoosh and it jumps over you and it's behind you, and now it's like attacking the person behind you, like or attacking you in the back, and you have to turn around and you have to completely like. That's what I think of when I think of acrobatic. That. Well, you're gonna have to chase that MFer all over the place, and it's gonna be super annoying.
As a melee DPS, especially super annoying.
Yeah, super annoying. Well, not as annoying for melee DPS as a sniper. If the sniper constantly runs to get out of to a range, they're not as annoying, but you still have to turn as a melee and completely, you've got aggro here and you're dealing with this, but all of a sudden you got to pick up this asshole that's behind you. Yeah.
Well, as a healer, let me tell you what I thought of Tess. It's not, I get it from a range perspective, or melee perspective, but from a healing perspective, here's what I thought of. What if I'm healing and I get aggro and this thing just freaking does a somersault across every person in my group and they land on me and start annihilating me immediately? That they could close space really quickly if you were to get aggro. And then I thought of Boom. Because Boom
no
shit out of something, right? So he just always does this. He nukes a mob and it gets aggro, and it's gonna be bad for Boom. Like, this acrobat's gonna come over and smack him right in the head and kill him immediately.
Nathan in chat, he has the idea that would absolutely destroy me as a tank. Acrobatic, you lose target. You drop, and all of a sudden you have to research to find it again. Oh no, that's terrible.
That would be tough,
especially considering my big beef, and it's not a beef, it's a learning curve that I still haven't gotten over in EQ. Is tab targeting. I cannot tab. I have to click target. Can you imagine going through all of that trouble to target and then it drops target all in the middle of your fight? Oh no. Devs, Nathan did not say that. Nathan said he's not giving you ideas. That is not something we were thinking of.
Well, let's go ahead and go to True Sight. Ability to see stealth. Right?
Yeah,
so
obviously.
I love this because I hate rogues, and this will kill those sneaky rogues that like to just hide out behind the boss. You know, the ones in WoW that would just go, the rogue would just be back behind the boss, jumping around, bouncing, and just being it would just kill him right away because it'd be like, dude, you're a rogue, and it would be done. So, Okay,
I just have one small request of Visionary Realms.
Yeah.
Please just only kill the rogue and not me as a party member. So if they stealth behind the mob without me being close to them, let them just die. And don't let the mobs aggro.
Don't let it aggro. The other thing I'd like to request, I'm hoping that Visionary Realms is listening to this, and I hope that they go ahead and make Boom's mead part of the game. Because
mead and
it's a debuff. Though it's not a buff food.
This is fantastic. This is fantastic. You can tell by the
slur in your voice, friend.
Oh my gosh, this is good, and this is the perfect drink for the game. I'm just telling you, we'll come up with a name for it. Let's do that. Let's talk about avenging. This is a little different. Inflict harm on behalf of oneself or someone else previously wronged or harmed. This one has a lot for everybody to talk about.
I like Militus's idea on this. So Militus, say your idea.
All right, let's hear it.
This is the best one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the way avenging is going to work is that if you wipe on a mob, they will remember your ass. And when you come back, okay, let's this happens a lot. This happened a lot to Tess, Boom, and I when we've been playing MMOs. Let's say Boom, we're fighting as a 6-man group in Pantheon. And it comes down the wire, like, we're going to beat this mob. The last one's alive, and Tess goes down, right? And I'm the healer. I'm like, oh shit. And then they come for me because they have aggro on me, and they kill me. So here's my idea for avenging. The moment we pull the mob the next time after we wipe, we reset, that mob remembers Omilla. And he's like, your ass is mine.
Well, that's scary.
Right for me. Immediately on the pool, like, you're trying to tank Tess. And immediately it just runs right by you. It's like, no, I want Milla's ass right now.
I actually think that this is a worse situation. So here you go, VR. You really want to screw us? This is what I think is even worse. As a tank, you're not doing a lot of DPS. You're doing enough DPS and enough mitigation and enough other tanking mechanics in order to
you're doing
keep threat,
sick beats,
right?
sick beats too.
Yeah,
Don't forget that. Mm-hmm.
I have not forgotten. However, the DPS are the ones that are killing everything.
Mm-hmm.
So what if the moment a DPS drops an ad, the avenging drops aggro and goes after whatever DPS just dropped that ad?
That would be fun. That would be fun.
No, it would be terrifying.
But again, listen.
It'd be horrible.
But okay. So here's the thing. Wiping is fun. It just is, man. It's no fun.
It is. It is.
Every mob in a dungeon and not have to think about
fun. It's fun to wipe. It's not fun to wipe 17 times.
But here's the thing, Tess. This is not some impossible boss mechanic.
No, these are just ads.
Hold on. Let's say this happened to us, okay? And when we go back, we're like, hey, that mob was avenging. Like, it remembered. So we're going to have to change our strategy. I mean, we would beat it. It would just create a different, unique gameplay experience for us. It wouldn't be like we wipe 48 times to a boss and WoW. It would be more like, oh, they got us. That avenging mob got us this last time. We'll get them the next time. It wouldn't be like, progression bosses in WoW, I don't think. That's at least my perspective.
But what if the avenging mob remembers you and he's pissed off?
Yeah.
And so what he does is he goes and gets his boss buddy next time. So next time you roll into that dungeon, it's like, it's queuing it up and it's like, Militus is in this dungeon. Oh, hell no. And all of a sudden, you don't have a mob, you got a mini boss, and he's gonna go after you.
Okay. So again, a memory from WoW.
Day said, like, as things die, maybe the Avenger gets more and more powerful.
Yeah.
That could be a thing. That could be really cool.
That could be the thing.
But
yeah.
Another memory from WoW. You guys remember the what was it called? The rot gut fight.
I remember that.
Okay. Do you remember how the hunter had to drop ice traps and kite the slimes? He had to. So as you're fighting the boss, you had to kite the slime. And the hunter would do that with ice traps and everything. I was always so jealous of that hunter. I'm like, man,
that was me.
You got something fun to do. Yeah, right. You got something fun to do.
So
Hunter used to be fun, and then it turned into baloney.
Well, avenging could be like that, Tess.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be just the hunter. You see what I'm saying? It would be whoever they remembered.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me now, Mila, is that because the whole reason that I stopped being hunter is because all the CC jobs that I love so much, I couldn't do anymore. And instead I was just chasing a damn DPS meter.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying too.
Is you're telling me I should go back to CC?
Well, I'm just saying that's where WoW made a mistake. Because that was when hunter was really fun. When you could do this kind of things.
Right.
And here's the cool thing. Like, it wouldn't, again, when we went to fight that boss every
Whose
time.
dog is this? It's my special friend Antonio.
Sorry. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm doing something.
That mob every time. I always knew the hunter was going to have the most fun. And when we did the morose pool, I'm sure the hunters looked at me and thought, hey, Militus is going to have the most fun. He gets to do the shackle undead, the whole fight.
Yeah.
And so the avenging is not
super
like
fun.
that.
Yeah.
But avenging wouldn't be like that because if it remembered Tess one pull and me the next, whoever had aggro, right? It remembered. So it would always be variable. And so I love that. I think it would create you really better watch your threat meter, because if you get threat and we wipe, they're going to remember your ass. And the next time we come in here, you might have to employ some of your CC or beg the enchanter or beg the bard, please help me not die as we pull this mob, because they're coming from my ass. That Avenger is coming from my ass immediately. So again, that just adds extra, layers.
Right.
It adds layers of gameplay. And
it's like an onion.
I want to
onions
skip
have layers.
Peel back.
What you want to skip playful? No, these guys are fond of them. These are fond of games, amusement, and they're lighthearted.
Yeah, but
You wanna
because
skip
I
'em?
want to hear what chat. I want to give chat a moment to like weigh in on what they think that the playful is gonna be,
Yeah.
and then skip into mastermind, and then go.
I would
back
like to think
playful.
about that. Yeah, and when
So
are
what is
when are
playful
mobs gonna
doing?
just like strip to their skinnies and run around?
Yeah, what the hell is that prefix gonna mean?
Yeah,
So
why is nobody like? Is there gonna be
input
a
from
stripper
chat.
class? Like, what's going on there? I want to know what class is gonna be. See me roll up and is just gonna drop trow.
It's a ghost.
You know what I mean?
I'm thinking back to one of his particular names, and now I'm just cringing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Boom, mentioned earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
So let's talk about mastermind, and we'll come back to playful.
And we got to move on. Yeah.
Okay.
So
right.
mastermind, person with outstanding intellect.
I think
your
I
debuffers.
think this could be the most interesting of all of them. I think the mastermind could be the one that needs the most programming. Here's why. This mastermind could make the rest of the group smarter, and maybe this NPC, this one NPC, could give other NPCs dispositions as it saw fit. So the mastermind sees you guys roll in, and the mastermind goes, oh, you know what's good for this group? You're going to be this disposition, you're going to be this disposition, you're going to be this disposition. And the mastermind coordinates all of that. And now you're screwed.
I don't know if that's possible.
Oh, sure it is. We live in 2019. Really? Are you kidding me? This is the age of mead. What are you guys talking about? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Tess. I'm with Tess on this one. I think that the intellect is buffs all mobs or in the group, like especially casters. I think the mastermind would, like, if it was paired with a casting mob DPS, you're in trouble. Like, that thing is going to buff the shit out of that casting DPS mob, and you're in trouble. Like, you better lock him down. You better lock the mastermind down, and you better debuff immediately, because he's probably going to have buffs on all the mobs. So you're going to have to lock him down, debuff all mobs, burn them down one at a time, and hope he doesn't break.
But what if the mastermind is like, oh crap, we're losing this fight, and he takes one of the mobs and says, you're now an alarmist, and now all of a sudden that mob runs away.
I don't think we can get. I really don't think so. I don't think that is.
Oh, it's totally possible, because it's easy, because what it is it's just, as you're seeing your health depreciate, it's setting off a trigger, and the mastermind is sitting there going, okay, great. And it's like, engage, and now all of a sudden that guy is running away. Like, the mastermind could be the most interesting of all of these ideas. Yeah.
It could be. Yeah. Listen, boom. I'm not hating on you.
Yeah.
I love that. But I think it's probably
no way. Nothing's impossible. You guys are
I
not.
Didn't say impossible.
Think Disney here. Anything is possible, right? If they can make Mickey Mouse
anything
is possible.
Yeah, what are you guys thinking?
I agree.
You guys are putting Pantheon in a box. Don't put Pantheon in a box. Don't back Pantheon in a corner. Don't put baby in a corner. Don't put Pantheon. Yeah, you don't put Pantheon in a corner. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
So Nathan, I hope you're absolutely wrong. Nathan's like, maybe the mastermind thinks like we do, and he takes out the healer first. Sir, shots fired.
Yeah.
Wow.
Militus.
Now that is easily programmable.
Kill Militus immediately, and that is, my friend, you're no friend. Like, that's not cool.
So I no, that makes sense. No, I want to hear. I want
that programming.
That is programmable. I think that is definitely an option.
Can I give a couple final thoughts as we move on?
Well, I just want to hear from chat about playful, because I don't know what that could mean.
I can't have any more mead. If I have any more mead, I'm not going to finish the show.
No, we understand.
If you have more mead, you're going to be done. Slow it up on the mead, brother.
But
this stuff
my
will
only
knock
thought,
you down.
my only thought on playful is maybe they're like more prone to illusions. Maybe they have a smaller aggro range, but I doubt that they would put in a prefix that had a negative connotation to the mob.
What's going to happen is when you come, they're going to taunt you with a helicopter.
Oh my, this got X-rated fast. Boom, keep it clean.
They just drop trowel and there's just a helicopter going on, and you're just like, oh, that guy's playful.
Wow.
And then you know he's playful, and then you know what's going on. Yeah, he's gonna helicopter.
Okay, so overall thoughts there, Boom.
Yeah, overall thoughts, Boomy. Let's hear them.
Okay, so I think this, I'm with Militus and Tess both. This is what's going to set Pantheon aside from other MMOs. Yeah. This is what makes it different than everything else. This is really what's going to do that. As I think about it, I'm like, a panicking NPC might install fear in the group and change how everything plays. An alarmist could cause the entire group to be scared of fire. A fire spell could cause the entire group to become pyrophobic. Like, there's like so many different scenarios that this could mean, and so many options that they could go. And I love the idea of them interacting and interplaying, and I also like the idea of dispositions not being stuck, like them being changed. So like as you're beating a group down, something switches there. I love the idea of that. I also love. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No, I like that, and I think it's interesting that Visionary Realms put in a thing that it's not just going to be mobs; it's going to be NPCs. They said like NPCs will go to bed at night, and a farmer will run and ring a bell because a wolf has attacked that. And I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I do too.
As long as I don't know what they mean by like NPCs go to bed at night, because
I do.
If I have to sit
I
here,
got some music for that. Hold on.
Okay.
702-625.
That's not it. Hold on, I got some different music for that. Okay, wait, hold on. I got some different music for that. Nope, that's not it. It's not happening. Okay, I guess I don't have music for it.
Oh my god.
Well, what I mean is it's a little odd to me if I have to wait for like a night cycle for the general store to open.
I don't think that's going to be the way it works.
Okay, as long as it doesn't, that's fine.
I guess my lounge music isn't going to work tonight because my lounge music just plays the PC jingle.
Well, let's go into our next segment.
Yeah, let's do it. Boom.
Okay. Hold on.
Please.
Okay, hold on.
I'm
working on it. I'm working on it. I got this. Okay, hold on. I don't know. Hey, Tess, can you mute for just a second? I think you're.
It's not me.
Okay. Yeah, it's your. Okay, so just hold on for a second. No, I guess that's not doing it. Maybe it's Militus. Militus, mute it for a second. Just mute your thing for just a second. Let me see what's going on. Because I'm echoing. It's driving me crazy. Okay, hold on. I have this. Okay, I have this audio track. Ready? Are you guys ready? Okay, here he goes. Yeah, it was definitely Militus. Okay, here we go.
Excuse me, when is Alpha going to take place?
This game
when
never
is
coming out.
Remember that episode?
Hey, you better not make a game too hard. I'm telling you.
When is Alpha?
It's time for our Pantheon Patient segment. And I love this because Pantheon Patient is also a new fragrance that's going to be out soon. And you can get it at Macy's. And it smells sort of like a sweaty kind of t-shirt in the sun kind of a thing, and it's called Pantheon Patient. It's a new segment. So Pantheon Patient is our brand new segment about how we spent our time in gaming this week because we we're being patient for Pantheon to come out. So Tess, how were you patient this week? What did you do to become patient for Pantheon?
Well, so I played a little bit of ESO, I played a little bit of GW2, and I played some tabletop games. So
like what did you play tabletop wise?
I played a Pandemic.
Oh,
I've watched a lot of Let's Plays about Pandemic, and they all looked really boring. I'm like, how is this fun? And then I actually played it. It was super fun. Loved it. And speaking of Let's Plays, I found you guys. I found a killer Let's Play channel. One of the funniest channels I've ever seen. And it's this guy called Gray Still Plays. And he does a lot of like tycoon and VR stuff. He is hilarious. I almost peed like 4 times. He is so funny. So check him out. I'm going to put his link in the show notes. And I'm also going to tweet him out. Gray Still Plays on YouTube. Hilarious. But that's kind of how I spend my time.
That's awesome. Now, am I supposed to play this audio track in between everybody's thing like we did the Zen?
No, don't. It's way too long. But you can play it again.
Okay, so here's what I want you to record. I want you to record just a Pantheon patient. I want you to record
I have that. I'll send it to you.
So what I'd like to do, because then what I can do is I can play that after each segment so that we can be like, Pantheon patient. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Militus, how about you? How are you, Pantheon patient?
Well, I didn't get a lot of time to play games. I played some EverQuest 2.
You played this game called RVing.
I did.
Yeah, that's a game. That's a game.
It was a game. Like I played the level where I stopped in Arkansas, and then I played the level where I stopped in Mississippi on the way back. So it was. I do want to throw a shout out though to Def. I didn't know this until traveling, but Def and I actually grew up in a very, even though he's younger than me by quite, we grew up in a very similar area of Texas. And so I'm from Lufkin, Texas, and Def is from Tyler, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
So the next time I travel home, I'm going to actually meet up with Def and we're going to have a beer. So while I didn't get to play a lot of games, it was cool because
so
I had a friend.
Def, I need you to listen to me. I am going to be driving through your neck of the woods when I go to Florida. So we gotta go there. I'm going to be driving through Texas on my way to Florida, and I'm going to stop off and see everybody there. And I do plan on this. This is a real thing, guys, just so you know. I am going to go to Texarkana, and I am going to transport Coors beer across state lines. I'm just telling everybody that right now. These 2 gentlemen came up to me, and they approached me, and I am going to get the cases of beer for their party to them in 18 hours. So I will be there. I'm coming. Tyler, Texas. I'm coming for you, Tyler, Texas. All right.
No, I'm actually in Eastern Tennessee now. I was in on the West Coast last summer. I do plan on traveling back to the West Coast at some point whenever your state is no longer on fire. So currently it's not. I do plan to come to California soon.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I think it's hilarious to think that Milla is a Cali boy. He's so not.
Well, I do fit in there politically. Let's just say that. Fit in quite well in California.
Only so many people are going to understand my joke, by the way, Militus. Like, you will understand my joke. Tess won't understand my joke. Basically, anybody younger than you and I will not understand my joke about transporting Coors beer across state lines.
Hold on. I'm with Lex. Jokes aside, he took a shot at your beer, and I have to agree with him. It's basically glorified water. I'm sorry.
Coors in Colorado is sacred.
Yes,
right?
It is.
You do not tease Coors beer. And by the way,
Coors is good. Coors Light is water. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Smokey and the Bandit was
what
built
I'm drinking right now
off of Coors beer. It gave us one of the greatest movies of all time. Coors beer transporting across the state lines. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what they do. They transported Coors beers.
Baby.
Yeah, I'm eastbound and down. I'm loaded up and trucking.
Nice.
Right? I'm going to do what they say can't be done. I've got a long ways to go and a short time to get there. Yeah, guys. Goodness gracious. You guys got to realize what's going on. As for me, I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey like nobody's business. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is now in my top 5 of all-time games I've ever played in my entire life. This game, for me, has captured my heart. It is absolutely amazing. I love it.
Okay, just one question.
Yeah.
Next week, will it still have captured your heart, or will you be on to Forza again?
I am officially 41 hours in on this game. That's saying something.
That's a lot of time for the Boomster. I'm gonna say that's a
here's
lot
the
of time
thing.
for you.
I only have maybe an hour or two a night. So 41 hours is a long time, and I'm only 30% done with the game, by the way. So I've got another 70% done. I figure I'm gonna finish late July. I bought all of the expansions. I bought all of everything. This game, I know people are going to tease me for this. I don't really care because my mead is really good. Okay. And on top of that, this game is really, really important to gaming because it's like an MMO, but it's like a single player MMO.
I've heard great things. Mama Tess
and I want
is like loving it.
Visionary Realms to really play it and take it seriously because a lot of the things they're talking about are already in this game. Even though it's a single player game, it's not a multiplayer game. It needs to be a multiplayer game.
That's a different level of complexity when it's single player.
But if they make this into a multiplayer game, it's just amazing. It's
no, I'm with you, Boom.
Really
I'm just saying
good.
You would admit it's a much more difficult task to do that,
for sure, it's absolutely. But that's why I give them the break and I let them have 7 years. These games come out every year. Assassin's Creed comes out every single year. That's why I'm saying take 7-8 years to do this. Like, take your time to make this game. You've got a bigger task to do. But a lot of the gameplay things that they've come up with in Assassin's Creed could really be implemented in an MMO. I don't think Ubisoft is very far from making an MMO. I actually think Ubisoft is going to be doing this soon. I recommend it. While you're waiting, while you're being Pantheon patient, I recommend you go ahead and pick up Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Pick it up, play it, and tell me if you don't think it's amazing, because it is. And you got to get like 20 levels in. Don't be farting around with me and just doing some other stuff. You know what I mean? You got to go for it. All right. Well, we do have a lot of time, but I'm going to say let's just do Reddit. We're just going to do Reddit segment. Hold on, I've got the whole thing. Hold on. I've got the jingle. I don't know where it is. Okay, here we go. If you like mead, you might be from Tennessee. If you have moonshined before, you're definitely from Tennessee. If you wear your baseball cap backwards, you're from Tennessee. That's right. It's time for Militus's Tennessee segment.
Or sideways.
I don't know. I used to call it the broadcast segment, and then we got into the. I don't even know anymore, Militus, and I am telling you,
it's okay, man. I take any label. I'm good at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, can you explain to me, Militus, why you just keep typing marks in the show notes?
Because I'm gonna push to talk because you gave me shit for echo.
Yeah, your echo is atrocious. That's okay.
So I'm just push to talking to satisfy your anxiety.
I see. Okay, very good. It's as long as I know what's going on there. All right, go ahead. All right.
So tonight's segment is about EverQuest. So I have lots of EverQuest players in the chat. I need you not to want to come hunt me down when I'm about to read this Reddit. Don't come for Milla. Instead, go for this post is titled, "Don't try to relieve your EverQuest nostalgia. posted by Binary Pie, which is an
don't try to
awesome
relive it.
Reddit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ted. All right, so I'm going to read it verbatim, and I want us to talk about it. I've seen a lot of posts littered throughout various discussions about how folks can't wait to roll a similar character to whatever their main was in EverQuest. I believe this was a horrible idea because it puts impossible expectations on the game, the class, group dynamics, and more importantly, those playing with you. A lot of what made your time at EverQuest great was probably not directly tied to your class itself, but rather the role you play within your group, your raid, your guilds, and your... For example, you were the sneakers, the halfling rogue, and everyone on your server loved to group with you because of your amazing DPS and good group component. Since you were a good citizen of Norath, you also knew when to apply the whimsical roleplay through making fun of the fat ogres and pulling Ixar tail. Great, let's do that again in Pantheon. Suddenly, you're subconsciously expecting the game to synergize with your legendary...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your legendary sneakers.
Yes, go back. With your legendary sneakers. What happens when the races of combo isn't actually jiving? Will your guild...
He lost his...
Will your guild...
Yeah, will your guild... Yeah, go ahead.
What are you doing?
I can't talk because when I push my push to... Hold on.
Okay, hold on. With your group raid guild friends.
Turning it off. So suck it, Boom.
Go ahead.
So now I don't have to push the talk. Deal with the echo. Jerk. All right. What happens when your race class combo isn't actually jiving well with you? With your group raid guild friends. What if that synergy simply isn't there? Are you going to power through and hold on to what was through the power of nostalgia, or will you re-roll to figure out what does? I worry that a lot of players, F you Boom, are going into this game expecting to relive their old EverQuest experiences and dreams, and will be disappointed when this game is nothing like what they remembered. My ask or plea, please bring a blank character sheet to your first gaming session in Pantheon. So, to the EverQuest players in our chat, all those that have...
I've already seen some of these replies.
Yes.
Yeah, the chat is blowing up.
Yes. So I know that makes people angry, but I sort of agree with Binary Pie. And I think I'm checking my WoW baggage at the door.
Yeah.
When I enter
that was sexier than anything I've ever heard in my life. Why do you play these things? No, I agree. And here's the deal. Kill me if you will, chat. But the thing that I think is very important, and the point of this this post is not, he's not saying, hey, WoW or EQ players, stop following Pantheon, stop trying to turn Pantheon into EQ or anything like that. I think what they're saying is just be careful that you don't bring too much expectation about what you loved about EQ into Pantheon, because that could be dangerous and it could set you up for failure.
Yeah.
And I think that's true. Just like the whole reason why I didn't want to play a lot of other games is because in like the mid 2000s was because they were like WoW clones. And I didn't want to go into it thinking that there was going to be one thing that I was going to get out of it that I got out of WoW. It's the same reason why you don't submit the same D&D character to a different D&D campaign, because the awesomeness, how you had so much fun, that has nothing to do with the character. It has to do with the game. If that makes sense.
Hey Tess, I made a D&D character once.
I know you did.
It had butt rockets.
I know it did.
Did it have mead butt rockets?
It just had butt rockets.
No, he had a hammer.
But it had assless chaps.
He said, I'm going to call it the clam hammer.
I forgot about that. I created the clam hammer.
And I was like, I don't want you to play with me anymore.
Yeah. Assless chaps and the clam hammer. There you go.
No,
Dungeons and Dragons for the win.
I think the point of this
This has gone downhill, by the way.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. The whole show's off the rails.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think the whole point of this show is just check your expectations
exactly
at the door.
Just play what's fun. Yeah. I tell everybody all the time, just play what's fun.
Again, if it was exactly like EQ, you would be pissed off.
Yeah, you'd be like, I've already played this game.
I can go back and play Project 99. Why would I want to play Pantheon? So you want to see an evolution of the game. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to see it be something different.
Yeah.
But listen, for all of us that were worried about this post, all you have to do is go play Vanguard. Mm-hmm. And you see that. You see the evolution of Brad's ideas. And what you'll see in Pantheon is another tier of evolution.
Right.
But he'll still stay true to
fluctuations.
He'll keep the game true
to
the
constant fluctuation.
Yeah.
Somebody's always on top. Sorry.
What are you playing?
Boom. Somebody's always going to be on top, and somebody's always going to be on bottom. And you know, just hang on.
That is you'll get some love.
What's going to happen
eventually, and if
you'll get some love eventually. Somebody's always going to be on top. Somebody's always going to be on bottom. You'll get some love eventually.
I know what men can do when they're angry.
Okay, so there's segment 3.
You'll get some love. You're going to get some love. All right, so here's my problem. Obviously, earlier... Oh my gosh, I don't even have that. Where did it go? Like, I'm missing whole entire things. So... this is weird. Yeah.
Wow.
So
wow. No,
this is the time.
Allowed.
This is the time when we get soft. This is the time when we get soft with the community, and for whatever reason, my sound thing doesn't even.
Fire podcast is being recorded.
There it goes. There it goes. It actually just worked. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try to play the lounge music.
702.
It doesn't play it. See? It doesn't play it. I don't know what happened to my lounge music, but look it. If I click, it doesn't play it.
702-625-1337.
It's not happening. So here's the thing. We want to get soft with you. Getting soft with the community. First off, we want to get soft with Nathan Napalm. Nathan Napalm talked about group finding tools this week. And I also want to get soft with Basgrim. And he talked about what trust is in Pantheon. I got real soft. And then I want to get soft with Battle Axe Theater. He talked about the economy in the auction house, and it made me so soft.
Oh my god.
And then Pantheon Plus talked about interviews with Minus, and it was featuring Def, and it got super duper soft. And then
what the hell are we doing?
And at some point we got to the community spotlight with Voices of Terminus, and they invited Tess and I on the show. And I think we represented ourselves well, didn't we, Tess?
Sure.
But I got so soft. And then we went to Pantheon Plus, who had a PvP roundtable battle, which is really cool because they went ahead and got soft on our own show, which was awesome. And they actually softened up our whole show like butter that's been left out on the radiator. It was super duper soft. Anyway, that's getting soft with the community. Thank you guys for letting us get soft with you.
Lex would like to point out the subliminal message told me to write a text. He must be feeling soft.
Who's feeling soft?
Lex says
Lex is feeling soft?
Lex says the subliminal message.
Oh, whoops, hold on. I didn't mean to play this. Sorry, it's just going. All right. That's okay. Well, we're getting to the end. We're getting to the end. You know what that time means? That time means you need to support us by giving us a follow on Twitch and maybe even a sub. Although I'm just going to tell you guys something. The sub thing has failed epically. We had a whole bunch of people sub, and if you don't hit $100 in subs, they don't even give them to you.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. So we just it's just bombed for us, and so it got me real soft. I'm just gonna say.
I just want to let you know that Lex says to you, you shouldn't be getting soft, Boom, but Boom should be getting hard as cement.
Yeah, not when you've had this much mead. Soft.
Hold on.
Okay, so
Can you guys see this? Hold on. I just want to show you the sound you're hearing in the back. I want to show you the YouTube art that's for the sound. You ready?
yeah. Ah!
What is that? What is she licking?
Wow.
No, I can't see it.
No, don't look at it.
Is that a smiley face?
I don't know what she's licking, but she's licking something.
Yeah.
You not see it? Okay. Yeah, it's nothing bad.
Yeah, no. It looks like a
halo.
It's a smiley
is
face.
broken.
She's licking a smiley
My
face.
halo is broken. I am surrounded.
All right.
Oh God.
Do you guys got any shout outs?
Yeah, I do
All
have
right.
a shout out.
Shout them out.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it
I would
does
like
totally.
to shout out to Nathan Napalm and Minus for sending me like 15 billion sound bites to put together that Pantheon patient. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
They
it was
just
very
kept sending
soft.
them to me. It was so funny. Thank you, boys. I love you to death.
And there goes the Dell Optiplex. Sorry, guys.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Carnage, upcoming stream of Pantheon, which I'm super.
Oh yeah, he's going to be doing that. There's going to be a whole stream thing going on. Yeah. You know what? I'm kind of mad about they haven't let me stream it. Like, I give them the real
I know,
stuff.
because our audience is just as large as Carnage said.
Yeah, right. I know. Nobody. Yeah, I know. You know what? Someday people will show up for the boom.
We will stream it someday. Don't worry, Boom. We'll
Someday
stream
somebody's going to show up for the boom. That's all right. That's all right. I'm fine with that. I'm good with it. Anybody else? All right. Well, guys, on that note, Boom's Mead will be available, like I said, just by meeting me. That includes any team of the Visionary Realms team that wants to meet with me. You just tell me where you are. I will drive the RV out to you, and I will give you some mead. And I'm telling you, it's worth it. This mead is worth it. And on that note, guys. Oh, by the way, Jeremy W. at Oak Productions. Your songs are awesome. We're out.